Welcome to the Market Mystics podcast, where we discuss what's happening in the cryptosphere and trading on Earth as it is in heaven. Buckle up and huddle on while we dive in and get weird. Here are your hosts, Joshua and Kim.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Turbo Tuesday. We missed yesterday's because I was out of town. I'm actually still out of town, but now I'm available. So we're going to record a quick episode and go over a few things. What's going on, Kim?
Well, one of the reasons we need to be quick today is because I am traveling to go to a concert. And I'm kind of excited about it. Yeah. So, no, it's not that exciting. I mean, it's just an artist I've followed for a really long time. So I like them. I've seen them before. Always a good show.
Should be great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we get into a few things we want to talk about, let's run through a quick market update. So we've got Bitcoin basically flat over 24 hours. It's down 0.2%. Over 7 days, we're up 2.2%, currently trading about 19,570. Ethereum is down about 0.5% in 24 hours and is up 2.5% over 7 days, currently trading at 1323. Our top mover in the top 100 is FXS, Frax Share. It is up 9.8% in 24 hours and 31.8% in 7 days, currently trading at $6.74. Frax is the first fractional stablecoin protocol. Frax is an open source, permissionless, and entirely on-chain, currently implemented on Ethereum and 12 other chains. The end goal of the Frax protocol is to provide a highly scalable, decentralized algorithmic money in place of a fixed supply digital asset like BTC. I also think it's interesting to note that Frax is only up 9.8%, which means nowhere in the top 100 did we have a double-digit mover. That's always interesting to note.
True. Very true. Yeah, that's wild. Okay, so in our Turbo episode, we had one certain newsletter that came through this past week that had a lot of little bits of interesting information. So we just kind of wanted to go through some of those tidbits of things that are happening in the cryptosphere. I was going to say markets, but it's not even all in the markets. So first up, the bank BNY Mellon, it's America's oldest bank, will now hold on to your Bitcoin and Ethereum along with your private keys. They're now offering a service where you can have them take custody almost and manage your cryptocurrency, not trade on it, but hold your keys, and they do the bookkeeping for it.
I mean, I would say it seemed like essentially a savings account for your crypto. That's, you transfer it to a wallet that they hold and they store it and keep your records on it. That's at least kind of the way I read it.
Yes, I read it. They made it sound very friendly and helpful. I read it as, wait a minute, somebody else is holding my keys. Like, isn't this the whole point of decentralized currency, is to hold your own keys and not by a centralized institution?
Right. I mean, I do understand the allure of something like that, especially if you're stepping out of a more traditional finance mindset.
Sure.
And if you have millions of dollars, do you really want to trust another wallet to hold that ethically and securely? And if you've banked with a traditional bank, you're familiar with that system. That I can understand that there's a market for that. But I would agree, I think it's not I think it is attempting to make cryptocurrency feel like the traditional currency. And I would much rather just view it as something new and learn how to function within this new realm rather than trying to make it look like something else.
I agree. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the car phone that had the cord on it.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's like the first, not the first cell phones, but the first kind of mobile phones that became far more available were car phones, and they still had a cord,
mm,
like this twirly, spirally cord, because they wanted to look like the phones you're used to.
yeah,
But then at some point they had to cut the cord and then just be a normal cell phone.
right. Mm, yeah, that's a good analogy. I like it.
Mm,
So, anyways, I can see where that's maybe where there is a market for that. But like Kim said, holding your keys is an important thing. So surrendering who has the keys to your wallet for them to hold it safely. Yes, maybe there's some benefit in that, but there's also risk in that because you're trusting that that institution is going to stay in business. That you're just trusting that that's the secure place.
right. You know what else it reminds me of? Our conversation with Armand when he was on. And a lot of our conversations leading up to that having to do with taking responsibility.
Mm,
Um, and this feels like just another way of dabbling in finances, but allowing someone else to do it for you instead of uh instead of taking the responsibility of holding your keys and managing it yourself. And I think still this is a really important thing for society to be going back to is like we've got to hold our own responsibility. We've got to hold our own keys.
yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, what's up next?
We have a company called Moon Mortgage, which has recently raised $3.5 million. Their goal is to allow you to use your crypto assets as collateral for down payments
On real estate investments.
on real estate investments. Yes. And I've seen other lending platforms that will allow you to use crypto um, as collateral for it, but typically it's been smaller loans, like not like
Mhm.
your home mortgage. And so
Right.
I think this is interesting to see. It's another use of crypto. I think the next step after using it as collateral will be to actually use it as
Yes.
the down payment, um, and then eventually as just your way of processing the whole transaction.
Hmm.
So I think that's fascinating, but I think this is a neat way of starting to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is I wish companies like that would use just a normal name rather than trying to like
Be a cryptonaut.
yeah, like instead of just like yeah, they're just using like these buzzwords within the crypto community to create a name, and it's like
At
the
least it's not
term
like HODL
moon,
Holdings or something.
right? That's a great name. Let's start a bank like that.
Oh, let's do it. But it won't
Um,
be centralized. So you'll
but I
still you'll do everything for yourself.
we'll just take a percentage.
You can just claim association.
I think especially the name Moon, I feel like has been used on so many rug pull coins or fake
Oh yeah.
coins or meme coins that it just seems a bit like
Gimmicky. It
it
feels gimmicky to me.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So maybe this is going to work out for them. I just wish they would have picked a better name.
that's funny. Yeah, I wonder if they'll last. I mean, I think you can take any name and make it work. You look at Google. It's not
Mm,
like that's some great professional name, but everyone relies on it
true.
globally, right? So I think it depends on what you do with it. Um, I love this step in that direction. Last year we were looking at acquiring some real estate, and we were trying to show our holdings in crypto as part of the qualification um, for a mortgage. And it was a difficult process.
Mm,
And even we didn't wind up doing it, but even having to just transfer that out for the down payment would have been a mess. So
yeah.
I think as crypto takes more, I don't know, becomes more normalized, I suppose I would hope that there would be more companies like this that would allow for that and allow an easy transition. That would
Yeah.
be
I
helpful.
think that'd be really helpful just to have, well, yeah, just to start to have that gap be smaller where it's more usable within society.
Agreed. That's where we're going.
That's where we're going. All right, the next one, um, Shibu Inu has either released or is working on a game called Shiba Eternity, and it is a play to earn game. Um, I think it's fascinating. I mean, Shiba is a meme coin, and honestly, I think things like this are perfect for things like that. Are
Mhm.
perfect for a meme coin. Like they're staying in their lane, creating something fun, lighthearted, a game, using their coin. I think it's amazing because it just seems like they're doing exactly what they should be doing in order to keep it fun and
Mhm.
playful, which is what their whole coin was about.
Totally. I think it's great. I find it interesting to put a utility on Shiba,
Mm,
just because there's been this battle since Shiba was released, this kind of battle between Doge and Shiba. Like,
yeah,
which one's going to take over the other one? Not like as an acquisition, but like which one's going to go further, right? And Doge has Elon backing it.
right.
Not that I don't even know that he has a lot of money in it. He probably does, but I don't know. But his words back Doge, and he has a lot of pull.
Yes.
But Shiba giving some utility. So go play to earn. And also, for the record, I was just on Twitter yesterday and I saw yet another something saying, oh, but if Shiba would just go to $1. Shiba is currently sitting at 1/10,000th of a penny per token. And yes, people are constantly rooting for it to go to $1. So everyone can be millionaires.
Yes. Millionaires, if not billionaires.
Correct. Depending
Yes.
on how much you hold.
Right. That's so funny.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna look into this game because I think it sounds fun. Maybe it's gonna totally suck, who knows? But maybe eventually we'll have an update on what's going on with that. But just kind of a fun thing that's going on.
Yeah. One more.
And
Oh,
oh,
sorry.
go
I was going
for
to
it.
say one more thing in the news. I just want to touch on it really briefly. Just it's a bit laughable, but it's indicative of how government runs sometimes. Um, Portugal is now talking about how much they will be taxing cryptocurrency. So it's not set in stone, but a new budget draft from Portugal proposes a 28% income tax on cryptocurrencies held for less than a year. It also states that crypto transactions would be taxed a 4% rate. And that would apply to commissions charged by intermediaries. Um, so per transaction, 4% rate, which sounds like sales tax almost. And way, way, way back in February, we reported on Portugal as trying to be this crypto tax haven with 0% tax on crypto transactions and holdings. So just a funny flip of the switch. Maybe it's not so funny because I mean, I don't live there, but for people who thought they were going to go to Portugal and get no tax, that sucks.
Yeah, that yeah, I mean I know we talked about once, um maybe in our mass adoption episode, I don't remember which one, But we talked about these other countries like El Salvador that were marketing themselves as crypto friendly and were kind of paving the way for people to come there and operate smoothly. And now you see reversals like this, and I have to think um, that shows poorly on the other countries that are similar, because now people are going to be wondering, oh, is El Salvador going to change their stance? I know there's places in Brazil that were accepting it, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, are they going to just change their minds as well when all these people move there?
Right.
Yeah.
I find it interesting with El Salvador, though. I don't foresee them reversing it. I know that people have called for them to. Remember, this was also months ago. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, came to them and said, you have to stop accepting Bitcoin as a currency. And basically, Nayib Bukele was like, deuces, but with only two fingers, and was like, we're not doing that. And he's still gunning and gunning with Bitcoin. And I think he's gaining more and more traction. Like it is being legitimized there.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I don't necessarily see El Salvador doing that, but it does make me curious about the other countries. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
man, you have a country like Portugal who's like, hey, 0% crypto tax, we're a crypto haven. And then a
Mm-hmm.
year later, it's like, oh, are you though?
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. We'll see how it all comes out, I suppose.
Well, lastly, I just wanted to touch on, um, there has been a stablecoin transparency act that has been proposed to Congress. Um, from what I could tell, it looked like after the midterm elections in early November, maybe that would have a chance of moving through. Um, but it essentially requires stable coin issuers to fully reserve the coins that they're issuing and then to be audited and be transparent to show that they're actually holding that. And I think this comes after, the Terra stablecoin stuff where they just burned through their reserves and weren't able to hold their coin, and lots of people lost lots of money. So that, I think it sort of is coming on the heels of that, of just wanting to make sure that people who are doing things actually have what they say they have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm not necessarily against that. I mean, I've never been a like huge user of stable coins, but I I think, you know, sort of the idea of crypto is a bit of stability. Like there's a bit of or transparency, that's the word I'm looking for. Crypto in and of itself is supposed to provide a little bit of transparency. And so I don't think that this is the worst thing. I think this has pretty good possibility of being passed just because it seems simple to me. I didn't read the whole bill, but that seems as simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think if anything gets passed by Congress in a positive manner, that it's going to tend to have a positive move on all cryptocurrency.
Hmm. I I kind of think who's the US government to think that they can regulate all of the stable coins and make them report to them no matter what. That's kind of what I think
Mm,
about this. I understand that for they will probably justify it by saying, oh, this is only for ones that have US users,
right.
like they did with XRP and the SEC trial and everything, and how they made all of these exchanges. Well, they didn't make them. They put enough pressure on to insinuate that they should no longer allow users to hold XRP if they're in the US. And so you saw big exchanges just bow to the US government, while others, and there is no law against it, others still made it available. It was just a very interesting thing. And so again, I just find it a little silly. And I also, it seems a bit like they're grasping at straws to like hold some sort of status as like world currency. Just, I mean, for the US dollar. And obviously that I don't think that will last. If you've heard me talk about where I think financial system is going globally, I don't think the US dollar is going to be around forever, or at least not as the king. And so I don't know if I think this is good or if I think this is bad. I just don't love regulation. Honestly, I just don't love it. I love the freedom of cryptocurrency. And so it always is like a little bit of a stab to see some of that regulation coming out.
For sure. Yeah. We have for so long operated with crypto being largely unregulated. And, we've had a couple conversations maybe off air about that, about maybe why that is. But it is intriguing that, I mean, we like, especially during 2020 and 2021, crypto was picking up steam and was becoming mainstream, and people were using it all over. And yet, still a whole year later, we still don't have any definite regulation on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fascinating. So the fact that this could be one of the first cryptocurrency specific regulations is, I think it's notable and something to pay attention to.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us on this Turbo Tuesday episode. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you for listening. Join us every Monday and Thursday as we discuss trading on earth as it is in heaven. If you want to connect further, follow us on social media at market.mystics for Instagram and TikTok, and search for Market Mystics on YouTube and Facebook. If you still need more, follow the link on Facebook to book a coaching appointment. Until next time, see ya.